We on live.
All right. Shalom. This is the brothers of GMS New Orleans coming at you with another live lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Barakahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure to the end. Shalom. And with this lesson, we're just going to go into prophecy, because as it says in Revelation chapter 19, the spirit of Yahushai is prophecy. And one of the major prophecies in the scriptures is that in the last days, the children of Israel who had fallen off from their identity due to the curses would come back to their identity as being the Israelites. And when you look at history with those little hats, the Amalekite Edomites, the 1948ers, there's not one point in their history, or if you ask them, where they said, "Oh, we fell away from our identity back in 1200 AD something or whatever." They'll say, "Oh, we've always known the people of the Most High. And the book is an account of us being the people of the Most High." Well, that clearly doesn't line up with scriptures, because as we're about to get into, the children of Israel completely fell off from their identity and would be calling on other gods out here and living amongst these heathens with no recollection of who they were. And again, in the last days, the spirit of the Most High will come upon them, come upon them, and they will wake back up to their identity and call back on their power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. But we're going to start it off in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4.
Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter.
And this is the Most High. Real quick, this is the Most High speaking to the prophet Jeremiah. So not only did the average everyday Israelite fall away from their identity, but as it's about to say, even the prophets, the kings, the entire nation.
Okay. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever."
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And if you discontinue from something, that means you no longer, have any kind of part or place in it. So you would discontinue from your heritage, and knowing that you are an Israelite, speaking Hebrew, following the laws, statutes, and commandments, all of that. And as it says, "And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not." And when we look at these 1948ers, again, is there any point in their so-called history where they can say they completely fell off from their identity? No. Again, they'll tell you that we've always known who we were and all that. And even when you look at their history in these different countries, especially these European countries, when those their fellow Edomite brothers came against them, why was that? Because they were in power in a lot of those countries. They were the bankers. They were high up in the political system, and they manipulated things to do what? Benefit their own group, the Amalekite Edomites, while screwing over their other Edomite brothers, which we can clearly see in America today, and just their system. They what? The top bankers, your Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they're Amalekite Edomites. They're in control of the diamond trade, Hollywood. Every major industry out there has an Amalekite Edomite at the head of it. And another cut to that, if somebody could get it for me, is Revelation 2, verse 9, real quick.
Okay, I got you.
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
You still want me to hold that Deuteronomy 28, right?
We'll get it after this Revelation 2, verse 9.
This Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, "I know thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan."
As it says, "I know thy works and thy tribulation and thy poverty. Hey, all throughout the curses, it says, hey, the head would become the tail. We would be subject unto, borrowing from the nations instead of the nations borrowing from us, being at the lowest point. And again, with these Amalekite Edomites, that is not at the case. A lot of these Amalekite Edomites are what? Billionaires, multimillionaires, have no want for anything. But I see y'all brothers got some points.
You got it, Kaya.
I just wanted to say they got but thou are rich in parentheses, which the rich sit in a low place. Like you said, I know that scripture is twofold, right? That's our people, some of our people, which was of the synagogue of Satan, or they father the devil.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, that thou are rich, the rich sit in a low place, man. All right, when you go to Ecclesiastes, which letting you know that's our people. But go ahead, brother.
Hey, what does it say in Ecclesiastes as well? That folly is set in great dignity. And I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking upon foot. And those servants are clearly on the horses. That name Bauer, which was the Rothschild's original name, what does that go back to? A peasant, a serf. We can clearly see that those Amalekite Edomites do not fit any of the prophecies, especially in these last days, dealing with what the true children of Israel would be going through. But you got it, Amawat.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring out a quick point. You had mentioned how in Europe these Amalekites, they set up these banking establishments and make themselves rich by being basically parasites to the rest of the Edomites. And this is the book of Deuteronomy 23 verse 19. It says, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother." So if so-called white people are the real Jews, they shouldn't have credit card debt. They shouldn't be paying exorbitant amounts of taxes. If so-called white people are real Jews, you should look at other so-called white people as your brother and not enslave them through usury. But that's what they do. They don't follow a single law in the Torah, but they're claiming to be the people of the Torah.
Hey, they look at the whole Federal Reserve. That was set up by Amalekite Edomites. World War I, World War II was orchestrated by them. Hey, America is constantly paying so much money and taxes to those Amalekite Edomites over there, while their Edomite brothers over here are starving in the streets and losing their jobs.
Yeah.
And they use interest as a tool to take but they allow the people to borrow from them, then tax them interest, man, to where they can't pay it back, man. All right, go ahead, you got it.
Hey, like I want to say something too. Like we always go to on the block whenever you have a particular gutter rat come up there and want to debate and want to get into just the history of the loan. Even to this very day, every year that everybody does what we call a W-2, a lot of you Americans don't know that 7% of those W-2s that you fill out goes to Israel, man. All right, you have Israel, you have 1948ers that had nothing to do with the so-called liar costs. All right, they had nothing to do with it. Yet they're still benefiting off it. They weren't even born. They wouldn't even nowhere even thought about being born, but yet they benefit. All right, and that's what's been going on. You've been paying wages, all right, to those gutter rats, man. How much?
And these same people will turn around and tell us, "Oh, you Negroes don't deserve reparations. You weren't alive during slavery." But you got counterfeit Jews that receive money for an alleged situation that happened decades before they were born. Nothing but hypocrisy.
Let me see something. I got some too. Hope I don't. Let me see.
I got something in this book right here going into the usurious practices those Amalekite Edomites upon the world, and even in some cases, especially upon the people of their own nation.
Wow. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna try to find one because I don't want them to actually. A lot of time when you screen record, not screen record, but when you screen share shit, they try to still strike you and shit. So I'm trying to find something that's they can't really mess with. But go ahead.
This is let me see
real quick, because what I want to show. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this old article that the apostles showed us a long time ago, to where from the time, really before that, really 1945, or before that a little bit more, but around 1945 to the present day, you look at the chronological order or the chronological timeline of Israel being established. It's been number of wars from the 6-Day War all the way to different clashes with the Palestinians and on and on, man. Go ahead,
There's a part I wanted to get first, but I'm gonna get this first. This is on page 77 in the chapter, The Dominion.
Show the book and everything.
Okay. Who was Edom by Charles A. Wiseman, and a bunch of gutter rats, Amalekite Edomites on the cover. But the first thing I'm gonna get is on page 77 in the chapter, The Dominion of Esau. The existence of today's banking system, that is, the taking of money on deposit and loaning it out at interest, actually gave rise in modern times through the endeavors of the 1948er Rothschild family. The financial career of the Rothschilds is the key to the history of 1948er banking in the 19th century. The plan adopted by him of establishing branches in the more important European capitals over which he placed his sons was followed by other 1948er banking houses. The influence of 1948ers on banking was due to the preliminary advantage given to them by their international position. But now I'm gonna jump to any brothers had any points they wanted to make?
Yes, going back into usury. This real quick, Dr. Bashar. This Proverbs 22, verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Yeah. So when you set up banks, you enslave people. When you force somebody to use a currency instead of using something that's backed by gold, something that's backed by silver, labor, actual tangible things, you start printing money and force people to use it, you enslave people. And most people are stupid. They don't understand how money works, so they just accept slavery, which they're going to do with the C-hip. You got it, right?
Hey, the borrower is subject to the lender. And again, what in the curses did it say we would do? Hey, we would borrow instead of being the ones that were borrowed from. And what was the second verse you brought out? What did that say again?
Oh, it says the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
The rich ruleth over the poor. What did it say back in Revelation 2, verse 9? I know thy poverty, but thou art rich. Rich because we are the true children of Israel, and we're rich spiritually right now. I know the topic kind of changed to something else, but the original thing was what? We would come back to our identity in the last days, meaning what? We are rich in the spirit. But you got it, Kaya.
Come on. Just to go to Bank, I'm a wide up. This is Job 15 and 34. It says, for the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery, which they have bribed many people after their land. They have covered after men's land. All right. They didn't call names after their own, the houses after their own, after they got the land through bribery and deceit, man. Okay, so they're the houses of bribery, which the houses goes into the families of bribery. A lot of these 48ers and these main banking families, they have bribed their way to the top, man. All right, with usury and interest, which that interest alone is automatically bribery. All right, because it's money paid for the use of money lent, man. All right, so they add the interest onto everything, and then you can't pay it, and then it becomes theirs by default. You got it, bro.
And if I could say real quick, another reason is bribery is because this whole political system is based on campaigns, man. You basically you print money and then using money to buy off this politician, buy off this politician. Okay, the Democratic trust, the Republican, it's all bribery, man. You bribing politicians to pass unrighteous decrees and destroy the people.
Well, we know they own everyone. Though. They own all the politicians, the judges, you name it. The law enforcement officers, they're owned by them. And I'm gonna say this: it's a difference between sheriff departments and the difference between local police officers. Local police officers, they're just an entity controlled by really all of them. But the police are an entity controlled by the elites. All right, they wear Look at most police officer badges. It's the Sheila Rothschild, man. All right, everything is owned by them. The highways. You go down I-10, you see that big red, white, and blue shield. That's a Rothschild shield, and it has the colors of Rothschild, which is the red and blue. Any company you see here in America is with the red and blue, they own basically by 3 companies. They own them by BlackRock, they own by Standard Oil, or they own by Vanguard, man. You know, and all roads leads to them. What you got it up?
Okay. Yeah, the point you want to make, Kaya?
Well, just I think it was Amawad. Real quick, when you read that 7 Proverbs 22 and 7, I want to tell you to get 16, and you can break it down, Ryan. It says, Proverbs 22 and 16, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. You got it?
Hey, through what is it saying, Sirach, through violence, and I'm roughly paraphrasing, it's like through violence,
riches,
injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole society of these Edomites, beginning with these Amalekites, was built off the rape, robbery, and murder, first and foremost of the children of Israel, and then off the rest of the world. And we're starting to see a backlash from it, with these people exposing them, first and foremost beginning with the prophets, and they're starting to lose their grip on things. We're prophesying that they're going to be taken out of power, and their riches are going to come to us, and we're doing it through the Spirit first, and then what the prophecies are going to come to pass, and those riches are going to be translated from one people into another, back to their rightful owners, the children of Israel.
Right. What makes it robbery as well? You taking from the poor that don't have. They already naked. They already don't have. They so rich they can rob themselves, right? And wouldn't miss the money, man. Why they don't never rob themselves, man? All right, like they take, but again, that's how you know it's a what? It's a house that's gathered together, man. It's a family of people, man, and they control the percentage of the earth, the 2% or whatever, Jake won't call it, whatever they are. All right, whatever they percentage are, then they rule the earth, man. They can rob themselves and still have money, man. You got it, bro.
Not even that. They can pay off the world's debt, pay everybody.
Yep.
Pay everybody millions and millions of dollars and still be super uber rich, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about a group of people. Really, they try to say that the 13 banking family. We're talking about a group of people that print money out of thin air. You'll never be broke.
For real.
Never be broke. You didn't came up with IMF. All right, you didn't deceive the world. And really, I'm saying this, they bullied the world. Just like they've done now with the whole FedNow thing, all the top crypto guys, Bitcoin guys, money app guys. What happened? They knocked them off the table, got them out the way. Same thing happened in the old times, man. It started. Most of that shit started with, I put the guy on the thing, but they had it's Mara Amschel Bauer, man. That was the original name of the Rothschild. So what they did, they started over there with Tsar Nicholas II, got him out the way. Then they went to the guy with the Titanic who was in their way, knocked him out the way, man. This is what they do. They went to Jekyll Island, got all this shit started, man. Most of these, like we say, the bulk of these wars are about them. All right, war makes the bankers money. Debt is money to the bankers, and guess what? They're gonna start another war. All right, which is World War III. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, and when just to back you up with them overthrowing Tsar Nicholas, the so-called communist,
You messing up a little bit.
Lenin, Trotsky, and Stalin.
You're messing up. Bro.
They were 1948ers.
You're messing up.
He lagging.
You're breaking up.
He's lagging bad too.
I'll read these precepts while you come back.
How am I now?
You're late. You're just lagging.
Is it still choppy?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Is it still choppy?
No, you get back now. You back.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a little. Yeah.
you might have to leave out and come back. I'll read this till you come back.
I'm back. Okay, let me.
Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
There's
Start
back
messing
in
with you.
Proverbs 22 and 22. It says, "Rob not the poor, because he is poor. Neither oppress the afflicted in the gate, for Yahweh will plead their cause and spoil the soul of those that spoil them." You want to break it down more? One of y'all brothers?
God, yeah. So you basically, like you just said earlier, they don't rob from themselves, and when they do, there's a swift judgment. You know, you had that not Bernanke, you had one of them dudes. He robbed a bunch of rich Edomites. They locked his ass up and threw away the key. But they'll rob other people and just
You talking about Bernie Madoff?
yeah, Madoff, kind. So when they rob themselves, there's a swift, immediate judgment. Like, look, you're not supposed to be doing this. We're Edomites. We're rich. You don't mess with our retirement. You rob the peons. You rob the goyim. They look at their own people as cattle, man. So what do
Who's to
they?
say they? Real quick though,
Mhm.
who's to say that Madoff is in jail? You know, just like they got a new video
Huh.
out with this fucking dude, the dude they killed in jail, they hung him. Supposedly Jeffrey Epstein. They got a motherfucker just ran into look like a dude, look just like him in Malaysia, man, partying. But go ahead,
Yeah.
I'll read one more.
They're on an island with Tupac somewhere, man.
Yeah,
You got it.
smoking.
I'll read one more.
And
I
shit.
jumped to 27 shit. All this verse. I mean, all this chapter good. It says, "If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from under thee?" Which is a question mark, you know. So, but even like you say, these devils don't care who they oppress. At the end of the day, if you're not in the family, then you part of the business. Straight up. Like you gonna be the business. If you're not part of the family, then you part of the business, man. And the business is to rob and take as much as they can and enrich and fatten themselves, okay, to where they done took everything, man. But you got it, Ryan.
Con, I got a preset. It's one of your personal favorites. Just to back up what you said. Let me find it real quick. It's that one in Wisdom of Solomon, where our life is a. Let's see,
Yeah,
it's like
it's a market for gain. Yeah, it's a market for gain. Huh?
You remember where it's at?
Is it 13,
15 and 12.
15?
15 and 12.
15 and 12. Con, I got it. Hey, just
Con.
to back up what you just said, how hey, if you're not a part of the family, you're a part of the business. And the biggest business for them is the body, mind and souls of the Israelites. Because they know if they have us under subjection away from our power, that gives them free reign to do what they want, to take our identity and to cover the man's fields and his house, even his heritage, and just run roughshod. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 12. But they counted our life a pastime. And a pastime is what? It's something you do at your leisure, something you do for fun, for entertainment. And our time here, a market for gain. If you aren't a part of the family, you're a part of the business. You're goyim.
They needed the rich to give this. They needed the rich to get rich, man. And everybody knows whoever got Israel in their hands, that it was a what? It was a gold mine, man. They know that. All right. These other nations know if you got Israel, you got a gold mine. Okay, go ahead.
And going back to what the slave ships and a lot of those plantations, who are the chief Edomite owners? Amalekite Edomites. The beginnings of their wealth and building up this system. For say we must be getting every way, getting it every which way but loose, though it be by evil means. And everything these devils, especially these Amalekite Edomites, do is gotten by evil means, those ill-gotten gains, and through violence and again in that Sirach, through violence and great tribulation. That's how they got everything in the society of theirs. They want to do what? Play the victim. Oh, everybody's coming against us. They just hate us because we're issues. But when you look at your history of how you treat these nations, even your own people, it's nothing but rape, robbery, usury, deceit, murders, assassinations, identity theft, all that.
But you said that they say that they try to fit biblical prophecy and saying that they're the people, but everything on a world scale is uneven. They own every fucking thing. When you look at who's over the educational system, who the educational system was started by? Rockefellers and Rothschilds. When you look at the whole hospital system, who started that shit? With
Rockefeller.
And Rockefellers, man. They own it. Hollywood, the porn industry. You name it, it's owned by them. Now they even got into even this other Kill Gates. This motherfucker ain't just buying. I've been looking into why he been buying all that fucking land in Missouri and throughout the South. This motherfucker then started getting their own. He getting those lands to really start his own. He's starting these modified seeds, man. But go ahead,
Hey, and what's that saying? Okay, word down the grapevine is that Kill Gates is a crypto Amalekite Edomite, a Rothschild, and even K. Tissue Schwab information's coming out that he's a Rothschild as well. And what are they at the head of? That GR, that Fourth Industrial Revolution, the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, anything major in this society, they over it. You know, and anything that's by mistake, and like I said, they did the shit back then. Even the apostles brought it out. They got a daughter. You think they let her in the banking? Hell no. They put her over some other shit, man. All right, just like the Clintons, they all a part of it. The Bushes, they so goddamn stupid and retarded. They let them be over. They let them be the president. Cause that's the lowest. Really, to be the president is the lowest position you can ever get, man. That shit ain't shit.
Trump, or really Drumpf. He's buddy with the 1948ers.
Mm-hmm. Like y'all cannot say, if you're in a position to be seen, then you in a low position. The ones that's not seen, they in the higher positions, man. You don't see them. Like if you on the front, they just threw you out there, man. So you could take the blame for shit, man.
You the fall guy.
You the fall guy.
You the fall guy for all the shit.
Yes.
And like I always tell brothers, man, learning this from the apostles back then, you don't never follow who the fuck the president is. You follow the money. Whoever the treasurer is, running there calling, Trump and all these guys, they don't call the shots on the economy and shit. Like talking about it, they're getting told to say some shit. Somebody write those speeches, man. But you got you numbskulls. All right, I really want to call you something worse than that, but I'm gonna chill. But you numbskulls, man, you really stupid. You don't know a goddamn thing, man. President don't run shit.
But his mouth.
Yeah. You can be elected, but you can't be selected. They was selected 10 years in advance on who's gonna be the president of these United States, of this corporation. All right.
Then they put in the Simpsons to mock you people, man.
Yeah. Just like over there with them gutter rats, man. Them gutter rats really run this place, man. All right. That's the tie-in with this brother been going into. Them gutter rats been running shit over here. That's why you think every year when there's a new president, there's some new bill that passes, and guess who's sitting behind him? The 1948, the small hat, looking over him while he writing scribble scratch of his name on the bills, man. Just like when you go into the civil rights movement. Who was over the civil rights movement? The 1948ers. I had a dream. That's a gutter rat wrote that, man. All those marches on Selma and throughout the South.
They got pictures of.
Who was marching with him? 1948ers, man. Go ahead. What you about to say?
They got pictures of MLK with Rothschilds.
Yeah. Control.
And the current, treasury, the secretary.
Go ahead. You got it. You got it.
Okay. And the current secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen. When you go back to her lineage, she's a small hat. The Secretary of the Treasury, dealing with the money, like you were saying, follow the money. And I'm gonna just put the image up there because if I say anything, hey, it's kind of blurry, but
yeah, it's blurry just enough. Shit, it's blurry just enough.
For educational purposes only, fair use.
For educate, kind. But I'm gonna go back to a little bit more in this information in this book. Who is Esau Edom? Because this is a damning account of you Amalekite Edomites and you're just stranglehold on this current system. But this is on page 75, back in the chapter, the dominion of Esau, the economic control, the history of money and monetary control is a history of freedom and slavery. That this is to say, economic bondage or economic freedom. The 1948ers have long been adept at the primary means for putting other people under economic bondage via banking, money lending, and usury. The use and control of usury, the loaning of money at interest, is a powerful tool for gaining financial dominion over others. Hey, and he quotes that precept you brought out. Not only is the borrower servant to the lender, Proverbs 22:7, because of the debt he owes, but he must also pay more than what is borrowed. By making,
and that's how they didn't gain world economic control. Like we've been going into, they're giving these countries, these low-end countries that's barely making it, barely holding on. They come with a solution of saving them, but they're giving them interest rates so high they can never pay them back to where their lands get taken by. All right, that only a devil will think of some shit like that, man. But that's been their MO from the beginning since they became, like I said, I put the guy on the screen, Mara M. Shalbawa. Everything was started by him and his goddamn sons, man. Right? And they said in the play this whole system that you see. Okay, this whole system that you see, going back to the Lords of London, and it's another bank. It kind of escaped me right now, but the Lords of London Bank, that shit go back to the transatlantic slave trade. It was funded by the Lords of London, which was backed by the Rothschild or the borrowers back then, man. Let's just say that. Okay, that's who funded every goddamn thing. So these devils had their hand in shit since the beginning. Okay, you think some niggas just went and got some loose wood out the goddamn forest and put ships together? Hell no, they can't. Like Psalms 83rd chapter said, they conspired, they came together on this, man. That's why. Hey, that's another. As the brother put it up there, that's why all those ships was named the sweet, good ship Jesus and shit. All right, all those names, the Mayflower, all that shit goes back together, man. All right, these devils conspired together. All right, on taking us down. Even going back to the time what that movie was, 1487, 1489, what it was?
1492.
1492.
It brought up this book. They brought up the Apocrypha, man. Okay? What this shit, man? Go ahead, Art.
Hey, but everything you just said, the next sentence, I'm gonna read this next sentence and you got your precept. Everything you just said, Yakana, is that's the spirit. Literally, the next sentence says that by making one's ability to pay off a debt more difficult, the lender can take possession of property and put it up as security.
That's the whole real estate industry, man. You sell somebody a house, and then you charge a mortgage, all right, a debt note, and then you make it so expensive that the majority of people have to sell their house back, and then you keep the house, you keep all the money that they paid on the house. Now they're homeless. Like that's a hustle, man.
You take everything. So
Yeah.
technically, they took everything.
Yeah.
They know they make the loan out 30 years. House loans 30 years, 35. For most Jake don't even live that long. Then if you can't continue the payments on a house, it automatically falls in default, which you have it to get put up for auction. Somebody can buy, but then they'll come in and buy for pennies on the dollar, man. Like you said, they just using everybody. Go ahead, out.
Yeah, the new thing they do now is they make homeowners insurance so expensive. Like you buy the house, then you got to pay property tax and homeowners insurance. Like you paying more than you would pay. It's ridiculous, man. You paying for the same house over and over and over again, and then when you can't pay it, they just take your house
They
back.
take it. Yeah,
That's wicked.
this
from their website too, man. All right, Lords of London, the Lords of London Bank. All right, you know this goes with Psalms the 83rd chapter. You know, as I put it up there, so people can see. We back up what we're talking about, man. All right. And those so-called enslaved Africans, those are Israelites that they did back then. Which they was like, as you can see, what it says, they basically started their own shipping company, basically, and it was shipping Negroes, man. Native Americans. That's why they call it transatlantic slave trade. All right, and what they was doing, all the slaves, the boats, everything was insured by the Lords of London, man. So. That's why every Negro that was thrown off board to the sharks and shit, it was insured. They got paid for that shit. Right? And many other things that was going on. All right? And like I say, you gutter rats had your hands in that shit. All right? Just like every other thing you have your hands in. Okay? And we went into this very book right here, the Apocrypha, the way you found the Native Americans, was through that book, where they whereabouts, because that book entails where they was going to be at in the end times, or where they was going to be voyaging to, which was the New World, which was the Americas, man. You 1948 got a lot coming to you too, man.
Hold on.
Got a lot coming to you. You got something like? I've been holding this other one.
Con, you want the chairs? You want me to bring mine out? I just got a quick one.
Yeah, this is Isaiah
26:10.
Isaiah 26:10 says, "Let favor be shown unto the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord." And that goes for
Baba Kashab.
Yeah, I'll read it again. It says Isaiah 26:10. It says, "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord."
And those 1948ers are what? They over in the land right now, and they're just doing all manners of wickedness. You got, Tel Aviv being Pink City, which is one of the pride hotspots on the face of the earth over there. You got feminism over there. You got them being atheists, all manner of abomination and everything contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, which what they should be following since they're the people, right? And let's not forget the constant conflict that has taken place in that land ever since they fully got it into their possession in 1948, 49.
The practice of that sinister Talmud shit. All right, you devils are so much not the people that you got to import grass, palm trees in the land, rocks. All right, that's what, because the Lord said when the real people get over there, the land gonna flow, man. It's gonna be like an abundance of all manner of good things gonna happen. Since you've been in there, it looks jacked up. You need to have something called the what they call it, the dome. What they call that damn dome?
Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome. You need to be protected by the Iron Dome, man. When the true people get in the land of Israel, which is us, we ain't gonna need that shit. We ain't gonna need import palm trees. Motherfucker got you got Transformer parades and shit over there now. Decepticons and shit having parades over there. All them Skittle people, man. Satanism is over there now. All right, then you got the Moabites, goddamn Palestinians, and your ragly asses over there talking about you the people. You ain't the people, man. No matter how much you try to dress up in costume, all right, trying to wear the all black, the Shirley Temple curls, the woman shaves her head off bald, trying to fit prophecies, man. You not it, okay? No, you not the people, man. All right, you just not you don't fit the prophecies, man. And you assholes, when have your people ever been on slave ships? Damn Jeopardy music, come on, man. When have you ever wore yokes of iron around your neck? Been on plantations, all right? Been the tail instead of the head. You always been the head. Always been the head, man. That Hollywood world is ran by you. Go ahead, Doc.
And I'm gonna just, you've been quoting 1492, that movie, which in it they had that scene with Cristobal Colon, where the monk, the Catholic monk, was asking him, so why do you want to go? Why instead of going eastward, you want to go westward? And he said, various calculations, Esdras. And then the monk said Esdras was a Jew. And he wasn't trying to get to India. If he was trying to get to India, then why did he bring Hebrew interpreters with him? This is on page 8. Oh, this is on page 8 of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. We do not know much concerning Columbus's crew of about 90 men aboard the 3 ships, but at least one of them was an Israelite, whose presence as such was not merely accidental. It wasn't accidental that he brought this man on here. This was Luis de Torres, a convert of possibly only that year, who had once held a position with the governor of Murcia. He was said to have known Hebrew, Aramaic, and some Arabic, and had been brought along by Columbus specifically as an interpreter.
Yeah, when you stealing, you gotta bring one of the people that's inside of that know of it with you, man. Yeah, people, you don't just go and take something and you have no idea or clue what you're doing, man. That's anything. Like, you want to get an insider who works on the inside, or who's familiar with these people, man, or who can do this or who can do that, so you can have a sense of direction, man. Because you know what you're going to take. You just need somebody on the inside to help you take it, man, or help you confiscate it. You got it, bro.
They've been doing that for years, man. They always get a coon, a sellout, or to take our people down. Just like the other guy back in the time when Israel was in the Greco-Roman Empire, Tiberius Julius Alexander, which was a fucking Jake. He worked with the higher ups of the Roman government to strategize how to take Jake down, because they couldn't do it. Jake was busting their ass, man. So what they do, they go get a nigga, or they go get a Latino, just like over here with General Lee and all them fucking Confederate generals. They how they took down St. Anne.
Sell out good.
With the fight over the Alamo, they got some fucking sellout niggas to do it. To tell them where the fuck was at, man.
Yep.
They always do the same shit, man. They know half you niggas don't stand for shit, man. Just like you gonna try to do us too. Sell out ass family members, man. I know where he at. They do the same shit. They always sellouts. Always sellouts nearby, man. But go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, they have to use Jake to take down Jake. Jake is too strong. If Jake is on the same page with the Heavenly Father and we're on the same page with each other, there's nothing any of the heathen could do. That's why going back to Psalms 83, they had to conspire, like, okay, you do this, we get this sellout nigga, we do this. A lot went into our downfall. A lot went into Jeremiah 17:4. That wasn't, it's just one scripture, but a whole lot went into us discontinuing from our heritage.
I'm going to get that Psalms 83 real quick because I'm going to just read it. This is Psalms 83. I'm going to start at 1. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. And somebody get me Joel chapter 3, verses 1 to 2, Baba Kasha. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And it's going into the nations, that the heathens that confederated themselves to take us down. The tabernacles of Edom mentioned first. The Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs,
which are the houses of bribery, the tabernacles of bribery. They the same people, man. The dukes. All right, all you niggas are the huskers of the earth. Go ahead.
Of Moab, the so-called Chinese, which when you read in the book of Judith, the Moabites and the Edomites conspired with the Neo-Babylonians to cut the water off from going into Jerusalem so they could, starve and dehydrate the Israelites out. And the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon, so-called Japanese, and Amalek. They mentioned Esau twice. And the second time they mentioned the chief house of Esau, who had the chiefest hand in the transatlantic slave trade, the triangular slave trade.
Yeah, they can't. I got a quick brief for you, Sirach 26 to 20. You finish?
Con.
Yeah, they can't keep themselves from the mischief, man. The more it says, the more that they do it, the more that they long for it, man. All right, is Sirach 26 and 29. It says, a merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong.
Hey, when there's money to be made, hey, they're gonna find a way. They can't. What does it also say? The wicked cannot go to sleep unless they've done some evil. And back in that wisdom of Solomon 15, it said every which way they get it is by evil means. So every way they get money is by evil and ill-gotten gains. And when they see an opportunity, especially to fuck over Israel, they take it without a second's hesitation.
Yeah. In Proverbs 13 and 11, I'm gonna jump right back to that precept. Which you mentioned this, it says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. Like you said, the most of their wealth, they took it by vanity, man. All right. And the things that they have, that's why what they have, they're gonna have to vomit it up. They didn't get it right. See, when we take the kingdom, we did it right. Like it was rightfully ours, man. You don't take something that's yours. That's what Jake got to understand too. When OJ went and got that memorabilia back, they took him to jail because they couldn't get him on the Edomite killing or whatever it was. They took him to jail for him going to take his own memorabilia back. That was for him that he gained and earned in his career. So technically he didn't take it. It says a merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong, and a husker shall not be free from sin. You got it.
Hey, the husker shall not be free from sin.
They are peddler. These devils are peddlers. They import and export people. They even do it to people, man. A person is not tradable, with the Lord have it to where we gonna trade you devils because y'all did it to us, man. You can't exchange a person, man. All right, literally, right? But they did it, so the Lord gonna let us do it. Yep, you got it.
And that's gonna go into that Joel 3. And what does it say in Revelation chapter 18? That was found in Babylon, the souls of men. And these gutter rats run Babylon. They run America, and the souls of men, chiefly the Israelites, are found in it to peddle it, sell it any which way they want to.
Because I'm gonna say something. At one time, you had this thing in the early 1970s called what? Pimping. And what happened? It was a thing because Jake was doing it. Now you got some. They took pimping into what?
OnlyFans.
Child. You got the child traffic. And you got the trafficking with adults, man. Which Esau is heavily into. I got a book in there to tell you how Esau bringing them in on planes, boat containers, 18-wheelers, and then using he's children and everything, man. He using them to have his way with them, man.
Better people, man.
And they're doing this too. They're doing child breeding, meaning they having these children that's been born, and they purposely not getting them so-called social security numbers and getting them an identity so they can torture them and do what they want to do to them, and nobody can do nothing because they don't exist. That's what these devils do, man. See, what you're gonna find out in this world, you're dealing with a bunch of diabolical demons, man. All right, some shit is gonna far surpassing of what your average thinking is, man. These devils are wild, man, with this shit.
The synagogue of Satan.
Yes, to the fullest.
Literally.
Yes.
They the church of Satan.
Yes.
There's some wild shit going on, man, out here.
Your boy Finkelstein, he said as much. He said, "Our God is Satan." Like,
yeah,
you're this confuses you. This is something that upsets you. Like, this is something you don't know.
Yeah, that was been getting down, man.
And that Joel is going to go right into what you said, because as the scripture says, there's no new thing under the sun. So human trafficking, child trafficking is right here in Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Kind of start at verse 1 and shit. Let me see. We're gonna read down to 8, and brothers want to make the interjections or have other precepts. Hey, let's get it.
It's the book of Joel, chapter 3, starting at the top.
And this is dealing with what again? The topic changed, but what the last days and what would be taking place in the last days.
It says, "For behold, in those days," right now, "and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem."
Bring again the captivity, showing that the northern and the southern kingdom are both in captivity as we speak. Bringing them again, what? Waking up the elect of all 12 tribes from their spiritual slumber, and to be spiritually awake, coming out of the congregation of the dead and remembering who they were in the land of their captivity, that they are the children of Israel. After discontinuing from their heritage, keep going on.
Yeah, this prophecy is happening at the same time. Verse 1 and verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
And we know that what Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh's judgment, is over there in that Middle Eastern region, mainly Saudi Arabia. And we can see that there's constant, conflicts going on in that region. Just recently, due to Iran seizing those oil tankers in the Persian Gulf, the U.S. moved another naval fleet down into there. And then just recently, you had the first ever joint U.S.-Israeli army drills simulating attacks against Iran and their allies. All the pieces are being set in place for the War of Armageddon, the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. But it's about to go into ultimately why those heathens are being gathered down into that land, barren and desolate, as it says in Joel chapter 2, verse 20 as well.
It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Whom they have scattered among the nations. And we never got it, but Deuteronomy 28 and 64, hey, I will scatter you amongst the nations where you will serve gods of wood and stone, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And what the transatlantic slave trade brought the southern kingdom by those 1948 owned ships to the Americas. And then when those European Edomites colonized the Americas, they enslaved the northern kingdom, took their lands, and sent a lot of them to other parts of the world. Seville, Spain was known as what? The reverse slave trade, which had a lot of northern tribe slaves on their markets.
God. And this real quick, this is Zechariah 9 and 6. It says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. So the prophecy says that the heathen would part the land and that a bastard would be in Ashdod. That's a chief city in Jerusalem. So there, according to the Bible, the heathen are going to have control over our homeland in the last days. And as the brother read, we're going to be scattered amongst all the nations. We're going to have to remember ourselves in the land of our captivity, as it tells you in Baruch. That's what the Bible says. That's not, we didn't just make this up.
Hey, kind, you got it.
No, finish your point while I get that real fast. You and the brother made me think about something real fast.
I was just going to back up that of Zechariah 9 and 6 with Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which is the Greek way of saying Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast out for a prey. And how do they appoint the land into their possession? Setting the groundwork with the Balfour Declaration in 1917, and then further sealing the deal with the Ish Declaration of Independence in 1948 or 1949. And then immediately you had the Arab-Israeli War, then you had the 6 Days War. Fast forward to today, we're on the verge of World War III, the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which we're reading about in Joel chapter 3.
I'm gonna get it. Get the one with Balaam.
That's in Numbers. I believe it's in Numbers 17.
Because it tell you, basically, it tell you who's gonna be in power in the last days too.
Numbers 24 and 20. Shit, you can really kind of.
I thought that
start at 18 and read down to 20.
Yeah, I started at 17.
Kind of.
This is Numbers chapter 17. Well, Numbers chapter 24, verse 17, which is which is beautiful. The Lord put the spirit on a heathen, man. All right. Which is what? This is more or less in a way deals with reincarnation, because they tell you what's gonna happen in the end. All right. This is 17. It says, I shall see him, but not now. All right, hey man, I'm getting goosebumps even, reading, but it says, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not now. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth.
And who's that star out of Jacob and that scepter rising out of Israel? Yahushai, with the morning star, making his second coming to save his elect, and what rule over these heathens with that rod of iron, bashing their skulls in, along with the 144,000.
All right, and this guy is prophesying, man, of the end. He said, I should see him, but not now. I should behold him, but not now. All right. But 18 says, and Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly.
What does it say? Oh, where it said, Edom shall be a possession. You Edomites are going into slavery, and Seir also shall be a possession. Your lands are going to belong to us, as it says in Obadiah around verse 18, that what? After you are taken out in that Basra bonfire, Judah's going to possess Mount Seir, and Israel shall do valiantly. In Zechariah, I believe it says, hey, thy sons, O Israel, shall be brought against thy sons, O Greece. Hey, the 144,000 go to war led by Yahushai against you Edomites and other heathens, and begin slapping those cold chains on you when the dust settles from those nukes and New Jerusalem comes down from that mountain, that fathership chariot.
And it says, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Now this is the point right here. And it says, verse 20, and when he looked upon Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek was first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
And we know that the Amalekites are Edomites, and the top tribe of the Edomites. And what does it say? They were the first of the nations. If you're not lying to yourself and are honest, when you see the people that have the most power and influence on the face of the earth, who are they? The 1948ers, the Ishes. So when you put two and two together, what should that mean? That not only are they Edomites, but they're the Amalekite Edomites.
And I want to say this too, like we always say, the people that you can't say nothing about are the people that's in control. So you think about it. Who are the people that you can't say nothing about, man? The 1948, the small hats. the Transformers, the Decepticons. Those are the people you can't say shit about. So they tell you who's ruling, man. Really is the Amalekites. All right, the chief devils, huh?
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to read that in the NLT. It says, Then Balaam looked over toward the people of Amalek and delivered this message. Amalek was the greatest of nations, but its destiny is destruction.
Hey, I shall have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Amalek, Esau gonna get it bad, but those Amalekite Edomite, just like Judah got it the worst of the 12 tribes, you Amalekites are gonna get it the worst of the tribes of Esau. And when that evil eye, the curse, which these regular Edomites already hate you Amalekites, once that's turned up double in the kingdom of heaven, man, everybody's gonna be on your ass.
They're not even under the curses right now. The curses are that your eye shall be evil towards your brother. They hate Amalek and they're not even under the curses yet. So how much more when Deuteronomy 30:7 kicks in?
Man. And I'll say this. I remember the elder brother Malcolm of the Chicago camp said once he was talking to an Amalekite chick, and she said, "You marry a Ishmael, but you get piped down by a black man." But that's neither here nor there. But we'll go back to that Joel chapter 3. At the end of verse 2, it said, "Whom they have scattered amongst the nations which we went into, and parted my land." And the land is clearly parted right now between two squatters, those Amalekite Edomites and those Ishmaelite Arab Palestinians, which both of y'all are going to get evicted by those nuclear missiles when they hit that place.
Them Moabites and them Ethiopians over there, man. Y'all gonna get all of y'all ass gonna get evicted. All right, like the brother said, or you gonna get burned up in that bitch, man. That's what's coming. A spirit, a physical cleaning. That part of the world is gonna happen, man. Right?
The word Palestine goes back to Philistine. The real Philistines are so-called Africans. They're Hamites. So you got one group of people saying they're Jews that they're not Jews. You got another group of people saying they're Palestinians, which they're not Philistines. There's nothing but confusion and madness over there. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot, human trafficking, child trafficking, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
And we clearly just go to the history of, the times of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. Boys and girls, men and women were all sold for what? Sex slaves, what, bed wenches and bucks, and what sold for wine and musket guns, all that. These are all historical accounts we can go into for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But when we look at the history of those Amalekite Edomites, we have no record of that.
And them Arabs were big into that too. Using our ancestors, when they had us as slaves, they used us as sex slaves, man. All right, bunch of goddamn freaks, man.
Hey, they do it today in Dubai, with a lot of you so-called black women going over there and becoming Dubai porta potties.
Right, that's a one.
Let me keep going.
We're gonna read down to verse 8.
It says, "Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?" And
speaking of those Hamites, and all the coast of Palestine. Hey, those Ishmaelites, those so-called Arabs, the Hamites, those Hamite tribes helped in hunting us on the west coast of Africa, and then those Ishmaelite Arabs had a hand in building those slave ships, as well as hunting us down and putting us into slavery, because you also had the Arab slave trade, which is another part of history.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
Hey, that big payback coming. Jeremiah 30, verse 16. All they that made thee a prey shall be a prey. All they that led thee into captivity shall go into captivity. And of course, Revelation 13, 9-10. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. He that leadeth into captivity shall be led into captivity.
It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Hey, those ill-gotten gains, those riches gotten by deceit. But that ultimate gold and silver and those jewels being the children of Israel, whom you've taken into your possession.
God. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
Hey, the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, your so-called Negroes, and of Jerusalem, the northern kingdom, Latinos and Native Americans, have you sold unto the Grecians, the Edomites, that ye might remove them far from their land. And what I see with the majority of Israel, look at us. Are we over in the Holy Land right now? Of course not.
Yeah, this whole chapter, Joel 3, is a masterclass on who the real Israelites are. There's only one group of people that was sold by Africans, Grecians, and Arabs to the so-called white man. That never happened to so-called Jewish people. What we're reading here is our history, the transatlantic slave trade. This didn't happen to anybody else. But it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head.
Yeah, the crazy part about it, Deuteronomy 28 chapter the whole chapter is a cut to the 1948ers, man. Every single verse is a cut to them. Past and present. It's a cut to them. Because you don't fit none of that, man. All right? Jeremiah 14:2 is a cut to you, man. And we can go into many other scriptures off the dome. It's just a total cut. But Deuteronomy 28 chapter, you don't fit not one of those verses, man. At all.
I've never seen a Jewish man with a yoke of iron around his neck. Like what?
Hey, the other scripture that says you're gonna be found in prison. Like you don't even make up 1% of the prison house. What Rabbi Finkelstein say? One thing you will never see a gutter rat go to jail, man. You never see him in court. You never see him in court, man. You don't
They went to the prisons.
They own the prisons. You don't even see them in the educational system that everybody goes to. Think about it. We always go on the block about that. Think about it. From elementary school to middle school to high school to college. Have you ever seen a so-called, I'm talking about a full-blown gutter rat? No, you don't see him. You might have a Edomite that converted to Judaism or whatever, and wearing the kufi on his head, wearing the shit on his head. I ain't talking about him. But these devils, to make up what I'm saying, these devils, you don't see them in Angola, man. You're not gonna see them in Sing Sing, Raqas, all right, the tombs. You're not gonna see them in these prison houses, man. They don't fit none of the prophecies, man. Are the most diseased people, all right. You don't see their women bald headed. They women bald headed by choice. You don't see their women just bald headed because they are under the curses of the curses. Alopecia then took their hair. All right. They don't got that kangaroo pouch in front of their stomach either, man. All right.
God. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for Yahweh have spoken it.
Hey, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. It beginning with you Amalekites, because you elites, you Rothschilds and you Rockefellers are so, hey, we're gonna do what you did to us. Slap them cold chains on you and have our own, global slave trade, where you're gonna be sending you to the four corners of the earth for hardcore bondage and slavery. But the only difference is we're not gonna strip you of your identity. We're gonna push your identity on you. It's going to be well known in that day who Esau Edom is, and especially who a goddamn filthy Amalekite is. But I didn't have anything else. If you brothers had anything from the...
Yeah, that was it.
Hey, so with that, we hope this was a edifying lesson. And before we get out of here, again, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barkat Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. And you few sincere Akwat, the sisters, diligently learning in silence and sincerity. May you all endure until the end. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.